Bongino, who is, as always, looking for teepee for his bunghole. Bongholio is he's having a tough time. Apparently, whatever's going on, this is the biggest crisis of them all. Now, I'd like to remind you that everybody thinks we're sort of on the brink of World War III right now, but I'm sure that Bongholio is concerned. He's got a standard. Bongino, who's looking for teepee for his bunghole. Bongholio. So, the truth crisis. Now, I don't know if this is about, you guys know I don't pre-watch this. I don't know if this is about Dinesh D'Souza's inability or disdain for the title of Truth Social, Trump's social media site that launched today and then proceeded to take a, what's the technical word for it? A giant shit on its own chest. Where, let's see, I think it's already like the 9th story now. Yeah, it's already just buried the story. Anyways, it's basically frozen. It just sucked right now. So Trude is having its own problem, but this is probably the worst part of it. And this is the only way, by the way, that Bongino, who's looking for TP for his bunghole, can get on YouTube is clips from Fox News about his show Unfiltered, which is, if I do say so my damn self, heavily filtered. We'll show you. I guarantee there will be an example of that in the first minute or so about a filter that's occurring. Even if it's just he can't swear.
America is a truth crisis, a truth crisis.
Oh, it's okay. Here you go. Sorry.
Folks, the biggest crisis facing us right now in America is a truth crisis.
A truth crisis. Say truth crisis again.
Crisis. Yes, We're in a pandemic. Yes, there's a crisis in Ukraine, no doubt. Yes, inflation's terrible. But I'd argue to you the biggest crisis we face right now in this country is getting the truth. We can't trust the government.
Yeah, it's the government we can't trust. Bongino's trustworthy, though. He never lies straight into the camera.
Did you ever ask yourself, what is it we're not being told?
Yes, what is it we're not being told? What are they telling us what to wear? What shall I wear? Here I am being told something, and I've got nothing to wear. Is there something that we're not being told? Well, I had no idea Bongino was so elite. His pronunciations are so, wow, well, not so.
Folks, we've seen freedom take a massive hit in the recent days and weeks. You watched it.
Yes, in Canada, Trudeau's power grab to shut down protests. Hey, fucko, you do realize this is the United States of America, right? Hold on, I have to go back to well.
Folks, we've seen freedom take a...
Hold on.
What is it we're not being told?
What is it we're not being told? Oh, mater. Pardon me while I sit in here and play the grand piano. Ooh, we're not being told.
Folks, we've seen freedom take a massive hit in the recent days and weeks. You watched it. In Canada, a little mini dictator, Justin Trudeau.
Hey, fucko, again, you're on an American channel. We have different rules here. So fucking what? They also don't have absolute free speech up there. Not even close. They have way stricter rules. And?
Invoked the 1988 Emergencies Act to arrest a peaceful trucker protest.
Well, peaceful largely because their guns had been intercepted.
Freezing the bank accounts of supporters.
The federal government has invoked the Emergencies Act. This is about keeping Canadians safe, protecting people's jobs, and restoring confidence in our institutions.
The government of Canada declared an emergency today, targeting...
Wait a minute. Excuse me, Bongino, who's looking for TP for his bunghole. This is PBS NewsHour. This is the public broadcasting. This is the government mouthpiece. And you're telling me we have a truth problem. That's your premise. Your premise is we have a truth that we can't trust the government of Canada, but still, which is basically what we have here because Castro or some shit probably is the linkage. Meanwhile, you're showing me a clip of this and I'm supposed to take it. I don't buy it. No. I don't know. I know it's PBS. I know I would normally trust them as a source, but you've just told me I can't trust the government and I can't trust the media. So why would I trust that any of this is true? I don't even know if that's a picture of a Canadian truck. I think that's a graphic done by somebody at Fiverr. And I think that's fake French on the top of it. I don't buy it for a second. I don't even think that's Judy Woodruff. I think that's Devin Nunes in a wig.
Demonstrators who have tied up the capital city of Ottawa and critical border crossings.
The polling on this indicates that Canadians are opposed to what the truckers are doing and actually would have preferred a stronger law enforcement response.
If there were an election tomorrow, Justin Trudeau would win at a landslide.
But is this kind of tyrannical power grab justified by the threat?
Emergencies Act was not used after 9/11 in Canada. Oh, by the way, that's New York. In case you thought somebody, rammed an airplane into the Queen Street Mall.
Even when all Canadian airspace was shut down on September 11, 2001, over a very real, by the way. Now.
Yeah. By the way, there were no airplanes blocking the roads full of terrorists. Just saying.
Security threat. The Emergency Act wasn't used. Then there's it.
Yeah, because it was an attack on our country, fucko. Of course not. What did they? How was the Emergency Act when Pearl Harbor happened? Did they do it? No, nothing. Good Lord.
So remember the 2015 cyber attacks in Canada? The group known as Anonymous claimed responsibility for taking down government websites, even affecting the Canadian Security Intelligence Service website. Yet, no Emergency Act was used there.
Because what Emergency Act is to be used? What are they going to do? Shut down the bank accounts of people that are anonymous and unknown to them? What are you talking about? They have other stuff that they do in response to cyber attacks. The fuck are you talking to? About? Who is this supposed to be for? Is my question. I'll get there eventually. At what point? Again, he's an easily confused human being. Canada government website taken down in cyber attack. Right. It didn't freeze trucks. Nobody. And again,
Then there were the shootings inside Canada's Parliament 2014, which left lawmakers barricaded inside their office buildings. So why not use the Emergency Act for that?
Because they caught the person that did it and it was done. It wasn't something that was ongoing. I guarantee they would have used it if they were besieged by people in trucks with guns hidden all over the city and that they were planning on ratcheting up the violence over time. I don't understand. Why don't they give stitches for every headache? If stitches work right now on this cut, if they're stitching a cut shut, why didn't they treat cancer with stitches? How come they don't treat I had a sinus infection. Why aren't sinus infections cut? Why don't they stitch my nose shut? If stitches work some of the time, why don't stitches work all of the time?
Well, even the left-leaning Canadian Civil Liberties Association, they can answer that question. They tweeted, quote, "The federal government has not met the threshold necessary to invoke the Emergencies Act. This law creates a high and clear standard for good reason. The act allows government to bypass ordinary democratic processes."
By the way, that's the Canadian offshoot of the ACLU. And I'm sure that the rest of the time, when there's no horseshoe overlap, he's totally for all the objections they have to government overreach.
Standard has not been met. Finally, a civil liberties group waking up to a civil liberties threat. Welcome to the party. Yet the leaders of the protests have been arrested under the powers of the Emergency Act. So what's the truth here? Do the actions of the trucker protests really vindicate the actions of Justin Trudeau attacking their civil liberties? Well, let's check the tape. Yeah, looks like.
And yeah, they're fucking Canadians. We get it. They're all nice. We all know that if a Canadian picks a fight with you in a bar, they go, "You want to step outside, eh?" And you go, "Yeah, let's step outside." And they go, "Let me get the door for you. After you." No, after you. No, after you. You know what? Let's get a beer, eh? Like, and?
Grave national security threat to me. What about you? Even Canada's War Measures Act, which predates the Emergency Act, was only used 3 times, including during both world wars. Listen, it's...
By the way, when you're talking over this, it sounds like a Russian hymn. Like, either play one or the other, dum-dum.
Obvious. We have a truth crisis. What we're being told just doesn't align with what's...
What do you mean what we're being told? The Canadian government has their own rules and standards. They can choose to use it or not. And if the representative government that's been elected by the people doesn't live up to that standard on a massive scale, then the voter doesn't like it, they'll replace them. That's how shit works. And why the fuck do I care? Seriously. The only part Americans have played in this is that some of the American truckers have been busted bringing guns to this. What would otherwise, and by the way, you could argue that assholes that follow Bongino and everybody at Fox News who are invested in this shit, who've driven to the border with guns, are the reasons why this thing went from just a blockade of asshole truckers to something that required this level of intervention by the government. That intervention is our fault.
Actually happening. You can't trust anybody anymore. And patriots everywhere deserve to know why we're constantly being lied to. I mean, remember the January 5th...
Canadian patriots? Pipe bomb. Is he going to have MTG on to talk?
Pipe bomb suspect? Oh, yeah, got your attention there. Well, whatever happened to the effort to find that person? Will we ever get to the truth about...
It's ongoing. What do you mean whatever happened? You think they just gave up?
That was? You know, the FBI released video of the suspect planting bombs that thankfully never went off outside the DNC and RNC headquarters.
Yeah, a lot of us are pretty sure it's a she, and she was on Steve Bannon's show yesterday. But hey, you know, that's the nature of it.
I'm pretty familiar with crime scene investigations, so I'd just like to explain to you a few things. So you have this professional bomber who managed to avoid the surveillance network of the FBI and all of the surveillance cameras in D.C. We don't see him coming out of a car, a house, or a hotel.
Excuse me. You're presuming it's a he. And in an investigation, details matter. So you're already eliminating 50% of the suspects, 51% of the suspects you might run into. So already you suck, you're fired.
To leave no fingerprints on the devices.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a fairly high target thing. I'm going to guess they're going to wipe the fucking thing down.
DNA, my gosh, it's like magic. The entire FBI source network of informants has no idea who this guy is or woman.
There you go.
And by the way, they got the bombs. They have these unexploded bombs, and the stuff was apparently a non-exotic explosive that they couldn't detect. And by the way, the cell phone calls the suspect allegedly made, they couldn't triangulate and find out where the cell phone call came from. Isn't that kind of weird? So we're supposed to...
Yeah, we're supposed to just believe that this actually happened and they weren't able to find somebody with the limited information they have. Or perhaps the FBI actually planted these bombs. I mean, flip a coin. What are the chances? Fucking hell.
This professional avoids surveillance, fingerprints, DNA, blah, blah, blah. You just heard that whole thing. Couldn't put together explosives that actually went off? Why hasn't the FBI launched a major public PR campaign like they did with the others?
Well, because they did, but it effectively ran dry. There's only so, and then the very next day, by the way, they had a flood of information and a flood of stuff they had to go through with people who actually attacked the Capitol. It's still an ongoing case. They're still looking. So at this point, Bongino wants you to believe that every unsolved case or every case they haven't managed to find the primary suspect on or announce, even if they found the person, announce a primary suspect. Any case where that's happened, more than likely it was law enforcement that committed the crime. Okay. Yeah. And this is backing the blue, by the way, just in case you want. So, yeah.
on their top
It
10.
was Hillary.
Listen, I'm just asking questions, right?
Yeah, I'm just asking questions. I'm not saying anything. I'm not implying that the FBI planted these bombs to make Trump look bad. I'm allowing for the inference thereof. And I'm intellectually incapable of knowing the difference, so that's the way I'm going to go with it.
I mean, do we not deserve the truth on this?
Hey, dummy, yes, when it's available. At what point do you have the right to either come in midway in an investigation where they might be onto something and insist they announce to you where they've gotten, or it doesn't happen? I guess that's the case right now. That's how it's going to work now. So unless they tell you where they are at any time you demand where they are in an investigation, then the assumption is it hasn't gone anywhere. And if they won't tell you everything, then they're in on it. Fucking hell.
You plant a few bombs, I want to know who they are. I don't care about their politics.
Sure.
Does the FBI? Then
Yeah, the FBI, yeah. Now that it turned out it's more than likely a Trump supporter, they just stopped looking. What?
the John Durham court filing and the Spygate investigation. Listen.
What, Spygate? That's what you're calling it now? You can't be that generic about it, dum-dum. There's been lots of spying stuff. All spying is a gate to that if it's found out, which, by the way, wasn't spying, but okay.
For years, the left's been hiding the truth about what the Hillary Clinton team did to spy on Donald Trump and then frame him for colluding with Russia.
Do you still believe the president could be a Russian asset?
I think it's possible. I think that's why we started our investigation.
We are looking at the possibility that the President of the United States and those around...
By the way, it's pronounced asshat, not asset. I'm just saying.
...during an election campaign colluded with a hostile foreign power to undermine the basis of our democracy.
There's outright treason. I mean, there is no question that what he is doing is giving aid and comfort to the enemy.
A political hurricane is out there at sea for him. We'll call it Hurricane Vladimir, if you will, the whole Russian thing.
Yeah, imagine being one of those buffoons now. Listen.
Yeah, none of this pushes back on it, dummy. None of it. Clinton campaign lawyer Sussman files motion to dismiss Durham prosecution. Yes, we know. But I told you that was going to happen. And he's going to get it. HRC lawyer calls Durham probe an overreach. Yeah, you think?
Democrats are terrified we're actually going to find out the truth about what actually happened.
No, they aren't. If anything, you guys want to pretend that spying happened and that was the primary crime, not the fact that he was scooped up in actual contacts. And if you're looking at a criminal, if you have the phone lines of a drug dealer tapped, or a terrorist or a human trafficker tapped, and you keep making calls to that person, eventually the FBI or somebody is going to go, hey, can we, Your Honor, with this guy keeps calling. The first two times we thought it was an accident, but now we're fairly certain he's a client. He may even be the boss. We don't know. We'd like to look. Well, how many times he called? About 1,000. Over what span of time? About 8 weeks. Okay, yeah, I think so too.
The attorneys for the indicted former lawyer working with Clinton and the DNC, Michael Sussman, filed a motion to dismiss the Durham prosecutor.
Right.
Hilariously claiming...
I'm sorry, dismiss the Durham prosecute?
Michael Sussman filed a motion to dismiss the Durham prosecutor. Hilarious...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with a lot of legal terms. The Durham prosecutum. That's from posse prosecutum, the old legal term in Latin, which covert rectum immortis.
Claiming it's extraordinary prosecutorial overreach. Yeah, have they heard of Mike Flynn and those other cases? Just kind of weird.
Yeah, you mean the guys that admitted that they were guilty?
Hillary Clinton, she's questioning whether conservatives are... Hillary Clinton questioning whether conservatives are in touch with the truth.
Yeah.
Now, it is one thing to have political disagreements. Those are natural and healthy. But it is an entirely different thing altogether to lose a shared sense of truth, facts, and reality itself.
It's hard to believe. Did she just say that? Did that really?
Yes, she did. And it made total sense. And of course you're going to react this way because you're a fucking lunatic. Yeah.
But the truth goes a lot deeper than the left wants you to know.
It's pronounced truth, by the way.
Did you see this key line in the Durham filing? It suggests that this operation to spy on the Trump...
Oh, dear God. A key line suggests. Show us.
...through multiple avenues was potentially bigger than we know. This is a quote from the Durham filing.
Yeah.
The government's evidence at trial will also establish...
Well, scholars have that among the internet data tech executive and associates exploited was domain name system, internet traffic pertaining to a particular healthcare provider, Trump Tower, Donald Trump's... Yeah. Please let there be more than this quote, because we've already covered this, but please, yeah.
...that among the internet data and their associates exploited among the data. If you have the reading comprehension better than a third grader, you'll understand, you know, that eliminates a lot of people on the left. But that would indicate to you that there's more there we don't know, right? What do we not know?
A lot, fucko. I don't even know what what was the sentence there? The government's evidence at trial will also establish that among the internet data tech executive and associates exploited was domain name system, internet traffic pertaining to a particular healthcare provider, Betsy DeVos's company, Trump Tower, Donald Trump's Central Park West apartment building, and the executive office of the vice president, the president of the United States. By the way, while Obama was president, and the internet data they exploited was DNS. This is all public. You can find this shit. It's not that hard. Good Lord.
And who's Agency 2, by the way, this Clinton-connected lawyer was talking to? Well, according to multiple reports, Agency 2 is the CIA.
Right, because he went to the FBI and said, this is a crime. And they went, yeah, we deal with the crime inside the country. The crime outside the country, you got to talk to the CIA. So he went there too, because he had evidence of a crime that this fucker was taking advantage of, gaps in security, I suppose, that he thought existed with his cohort server in the basement of Trump Tower.
The truth about exactly how Trump was spied on is just the beginning. I don't think the CIA is...
What do you mean, just the beginning? Literally, he's taking that among the data part as like, this is the tip of the iceberg. No, it isn't. It's all of it.
Be looking at American citizens. I heard that once.
They shouldn't be looking at American citizens. The FBI can. The CIA doesn't. But the CIA can check the other side of it if American citizens are, engaging in espionage or giving top secret information or colluding with foreign powers to the detriment of the United States. The CIA does have a mandate there, and they coordinate post 9/11 with the FBI. You see, this is fucking, oh my God.
Remember when the left said this is about the intel community, by the way?
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways.
Again, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? This is not random. This isn't just like a broad sweep. And this dude wasn't part of the CIA or the NSA or part of government at all. This was a private citizen with the capabilities of a private company. He wasn't using government servers to get information.
Sunday at getting back at you.
Man, he wasn't kidding, was he? Folks, listen.
Unrelated nonsense. British intelligence passed Trump associates' communications with Russia on to its U.S.
Just right-wing media talking about this. Here's CNN from 2017. Remember this article? British intelligence passed Trump associates' communications with Russians onto U.S. counterparts, which means U.S. counterparts in intelligence, right? Was that story true then? Is it true now? Has it been redacted? Are they correcting that? Who are their U.S. counterparts? We being told the truth? Remember where we started here.
Well, again, what's your assertion here? Again, you can't leak a lie. So if they passed on communications, they're legit communications. If they fabricated communications, if for some reason there's an idea that the Brits in collusion with the CIA made shit up about Trump then have at it, fucko. Yeah, CNN is left wing according to him.
It's pretty simple. We're going to have to continue.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth?
This crisis after crisis until until we confront the biggest crisis of them all, getting to the truth.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Good God. That was an opening monologue? That was supposed to establish something? What was that other than sort of like him sniffing his own paranoid farts? Good Lord. Just lazy. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is the Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide live stream. I'm here every day, just about. Not on Sundays, because I have to repatch my studio together when it falls apart over the course of the week.